Hey everyone, quick walkthrough of the AIVA documentation. I'll cover the getting started and the prompting guide, everything you need to start using AIVA effectively. This is the getting started section. It walks you through everything from creating your account to your first analysis. First up, platform overview. This gives you the big picture, the complete AIVA workflow from uploading your FASTQ or VCEF files all the way through analysis to a signed clinical report. Account setup covers creating your account, verifying your email, and configuring your profile. Navigating the UI explains the main layout, the header, navigation tabs, sidebar, content area, and shortcuts to help you move around the platform quickly. Uploading your first sample is a step-by-step guide. Choose a file, configure your options, like whether to run annotation during the upload, and monitor the job. And subscription tiers compares the free, trial, plus, pro, and enterprise plans so you can pick the right level of access for your workflow. At the bottom, there's a recommended path, a 5-step onboarding flow. Read the platform overview, create your account, explore the interface, upload a sample, and review the tiers. Follow these in order, and you'll be up and running in no time. Now let's jump to the prompting guide. This is where it gets really useful. AIVA is the first agentic variant analysis platform. It translates your natural language questions into tool calls, SQL queries, and structured analysis. The quality of your results depends on how you frame your questions. And that's what this guide is about. Best practice number 1. Be specific. Vague prompts give vague answers, include gene names, frequency thresholds, consequence types, and sample identifiers. The more context you give AIVA, the better. Here's a great reference table. On the left is the goal, in the middle is the vague way to ask, and on the right is the specific prompt that actually works. For example, instead of show me important variants, try list missense and nonsense variants in BRCA1 with GNOME-AD allele frequency below 0.01. Number 2. Ask for counts before listing. If you ask AIVA to list all matching variants and there are hundreds, you'll get overwhelmed. Start with a count, like how many rare missense variants are in SCN1A, and then decide whether to list them or add more filters. Here's an example workflow. First, ask for the count with your filters, then follow up asking to list and sort the results. Number 3, chain your prompts. AIVA remembers conversation context across messages, so build your analysis step by step instead of asking one massive question. Look at this example. 4 messages that go from how many samples carry rare variants in SCN1A all the way to classify the most significant variant using ACMG criteria. Each message builds on the last. You never have to repeat yourself. And this is a good tip. AIVA remembers previous messages, so you don't need to repeat sample names or filters. If context gets lost in very long conversations, just start a new one and reestablish the key details. Number 4. Reference your data explicitly using the @mention. Type @ in the chat input to open the mention menu, select your sample, and it gets attached to your message. Without it, AIVA might not know which dataset you're asking about. You can reference clinical metadata, multi-sample VCFs, or multiple individual samples in a single prompt. Here's the quick reference, 7 rules to remember. 1. Attach your data with @. 2. Be specific with gene names and thresholds. 3. Filter for quality, ask for pass status and minimum read depth. 4. Count first, list second. 5. Chain your prompts step by step. 6. Cross-reference clinical data with variant data. 7. Match your model to the task. Faster models for simple queries, more powerful models for complex analysis. And if you want to go deeper, there are 3 subsections. Multi-sample analysis for working with cohorts and family trios, clinical data integration for cross-referencing phenotypes with variants, and upload strategy and model tips for choosing the right setup. Now let's look at the API reference. This is for anyone who wants to integrate AIVA into their own pipelines or tools. The AIVA API gives you programmatic access to the platform's core features: file uploads, variant calling pipelines, AI chat, database management, variant classification, and data export. Basically, everything you can do in the browser you can do through the API. To access the full interactive API docs, log into your AIVA account, click your profile icon in the top right, and select API documentation from the dropdown. You'll get the full endpoint reference with request and response examples right there in the app. And this is important: you can generate and manage your API keys from the same profile settings dropdown. You'll need an API key to authenticate any programmatic requests. If you're using tools like Claude Desktop or other MCP-compatible clients, AIVA also supports MCP integration, so you can connect your AI assistant directly to your AIVA data. The docs cover the full setup, including how to configure your API key and connect to the AIVA MCP server. Now let's look at the User Guide tab. Is your deep dive into every feature of the platform: samples and uploads, AIVA Chat, table view, reports, and playbooks. If you want to know how any specific part of AIVA works in detail, this is where you go. Now let's look at the Compliance tabs. It covers AIVA's data protection capabilities aligned with HIPAA requirements, PHI detection, data encryption at rest and in transit, access controls, session management, and data retention policies. If you're working with patient data, this section has everything you need to know. And finally, now let's look at the Resources tab. It has the FAQ, changelogs, and other reference material. A good place to check if you have questions or want to see what's new. So that's all 6 sections of the AIVA docs: Getting Started, Prompting Guide, API Reference, User Guide, Compliance, and Resources. Everything you need to get up and running, write better prompts, integrate with your pipelines, and stay compliant. Bookmark docs.aivaportal.com, and if you ever get stuck, just ask AIVA. It knows its own platform. Thanks for watching.